Stop. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to tell you might hurt, but if you're willing to accept it, it might also change your life. There is a version of you that you keep talking about, a stronger version, a more disciplined version, a more confident version, a version that wakes up early, works hard, stays focused, controls emotions, ignores distractions, and actually follows through on the promises you make to yourself. You know that version exists. You can feel it. You can imagine it. But somehow you keep going back to the same habits, the same excuses, the same distractions, the same fears, the same cycle. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And suddenly, another year has passed. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your life will not change just because you want it to change. Wanting a better life is not enough. Thinking about success is not enough. Watching motivational videos is not enough. Making plans is not enough. Because eventually, you have to face the things you've been avoiding. You have to accept truths that your ego doesn't want to hear. And sometime, the person standing between you and the life you want is you. So today, we're going to talk about 7 hard truths you must accept if you truly want to become a better Kun, a better version of yourself. And I want you to listen carefully. Don't listen to this video just to feel motivated for 10 minutes. Listen to understand yourself, because one of these truths might expose the exact reason you've been stuck. And if you're brave enough to accept it, you may never look at your life the same way again. 1. No body is coming to save you. This is the first truth, and it's one of the hardest. Nobody is coming to save you. Yes, people can help you. People can support you. People can give you advice. Someone can open a door for you. But nobody can live your life for you. Nobody can wake up every morning and make your decisions. Nobody can force you to become disciplined. Nobody can do your work. Nobody can control your thoughts. Nobody can guarantee your future. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and say, my life is my responsibility. And that's not a depressing thought. That's actually one of the most empowering things you can understand. Because when you believe someone else is responsible for your life, you give away your power. You blame your family. You blame your circumstances. You blame your past. You blame the economy. You blame your friends. You blame the people who hurt you. You blame the opportunities you never received. And maybe some of those things really did make your life harder. Maybe you've been treated unfairly. Maybe you didn't get the advantages other people had. Maybe your beginning wasn't easy. But here's what matters. You cannot change where you started. You can only decide where you go from here. Your past may explain you, but it doesn't have to control you. At some point, excuses stop helping. You need responsibility. You need action. You need to stop waiting for somebody to come and give you permission to start. If you want to become stronger, start acting like your future depends on you, because it does too. You are not going to feel motivated every day. There will be days when you feel unstoppable, and there will be days when you don't even want to get out of bed. That's life. You cannot build your future around your emotions, because emotions change. Your goals shouldn't. One day you'll feel inspired. The next day you'll feel tired. One morning you'll believe in yourself. The next morning you'll doubt everything. That's why discipline matters. Motivation gets you started, while discipline keeps you going. Anyone can work hard when they're excited. Anyone can exercise when they're motivated. Anyone can study when they're feeling inspired. But what happens when the excitement disappears? That's where the real test begins. Can you keep going? Can you do the work when nobody is watching? Can you keep your promise to yourself when you don't feel like it? Because that's where transformation happens, not when you're excited, but when you're tired and you do it anyway. Not when everything is easy, but when everything feels difficult and you continue anyway. You need to stop asking, "Do I feel motivated?" Start asking, "What needs to be done?" Then do it. Your feelings don't need to agree with your goals. 3. Not everyone will like the person you become. This one hurts, because most people want to grow without changing their relationships. But sometimes growth changes everything. When you become more disciplined, people who are comfortable with your old habits may not understand you. When you stop wasting time, they may call you boring. When you start saying no, they may say you've changed. When you stop accepting disrespect, they may say you're arrogant. When you start focusing on your goals, some people may tell you that you're taking life too seriously, and you might feel guilty. But listen carefully. You are allowed to change. You don't owe everyone the same version of yourself forever. The person you were 5 years ago doesn't have to be the person you are today. And if someone only likes you when you're weak, distracted, insecure, or available whenever they want, maybe they don't actually miss you. Maybe they miss the version of you they could control. You need to understand something. Growth often requires separation. Sometimes you have to walk away from conversations that keep you negative. Sometimes you have to distance yourself from people who constantly pull you backward. Sometimes you have to spend more time alone. And being alone isn't always loneliness. Sometimes it's where you finally hear yourself think. So don't destroy your future just because someone else is uncomfortable with your growth. You are responsible for your life, not their approval. Far. You are going to fail. You need to accept this now. You will fail. You will make mistakes. You will embarrass yourself. You will choose the wrong path sometimes. You will trust the wrong people. You will make decisions you regret. You will work hard and still lose. And if you believe that success means avoiding failure, you'll quit too early. Failure is not proof that you are incapable. Failure is feedback. Every failure contains information. It tells you what didn't work. It shows you where you were weak. It reveals what you need to improve. Imagine learning to walk. A child falls again and again, but the child doesn't say, "Maybe walking isn't for me." The child gets back up. That's the mindset you need. Stop treating every setback like a final judgment. Sometimes a failure isn't the end of your story. Sometimes it's the chapter that prepares you for the next level. So, if you fail, study it, learn from it, adjust your strategy, and try again. Don't turn one bad chapter into a bad life. 5. Your comfort zone is stealing your potential. Comfort is addictive, and that's why it's dangerous. Your phone is comfortable. Scrolling is comfortable. Sleeping late is comfortable. Avoiding difficult conversations is comfortable. Staying in the same routine is comfortable. Never taking risks is comfortable. But comfort has a hidden price. It can keep you exactly where you are. You say you want confidence, but you avoid situations that challenge you. You say you want success, but you avoid difficult work. You say you want a better body, but you avoid discomfort. You say you want a better life, but you keep protecting the habits that created your current life. You cannot grow while constantly running away from discomfort. Growth requires pressure. Think about a muscle. It becomes stronger when you challenge it. Your mind works the same way. Every difficult thing you face builds evidence that you can handle difficult things. The first time you wake up early, it's hard. The 10th time, it's easier. The first time you speak in front of people, you're nervous. Eventually, you become comfortable. The first time you say no, you feel guilty. Eventually, you understand your boundaries. So stop asking for an easier life. Start asking for a stronger mind, because you don't need life to become easier. You need to become stronger. 6. Time will not wait for you. This truth is quiet, but powerful. Time doesn't care about your plans. Time doesn't care about your excuses. Time doesn't care about how talented you are. It keeps moving. Every day you spend doing nothing is a day you will never get back. And the scary part is that wasting one day doesn't feel dangerous. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. 1 month becomes 1 year. And eventually you look back and wonder, where did all that time go? You don't suddenly lose your future. You lose it slowly, through tiny decisions. Another hour of scrolling. Another day of procrastination. Another week of saying you'll start Monday. Another month of waiting for motivation. That's why you need to stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. Your circumstances will never be perfect. You will always have problems. You will always have responsibilities. You will always have doubts. Start anyway. You don't need to completely transform your life tomorrow. Just make today slightly better. Ride instead of scrolling. Work instead of procrastinating. Exercise instead of making excuses. Learn instead of complaining. Create instead of consuming. Because your future isn't created someday. It's being created right now. 7. You have to let go of your old felson. And finally, the hardest truth. If you want a new life, you need a new version of yourself. You cannot build a completely different future using the same habits, the same mindset, and the same excuses. At some point, you have to let go. Let go of the person who always procrastinated. Let go of the person who needed everyone's approval. Let go of the person who was afraid to fail. Let go of the person who constantly compared themselves to others. Let go of the person who kept saying, "I'm just like this." No, you are not finished. You are not stuck forever. You are not permanently defined by your past. You can change, but change requires sacrifice. Sometimes you have to sacrifice comfort for growth, entertainment for discipline, short-term pleasure for long-term progress, excuses for responsibility, and the old version of yourself for the person you're capable of becoming. Your future self is waiting for you to make different choices. So ask yourself, who do I need to become? Not what do I want. Who do I need to become? If you want success, become disciplined. If you want confidence, become courageous. If you want peace, become emotionally stronger. If you want respect, learn. Respect yourself first. If you want a better life, become the kind of person capable of building it. Now remember these 7 truths. Nobody is coming to save you. You won't feel motivated every day. Not everyone will understand your growth.